You wouldn't build a house on sand, would you? It's all about the foundation, making sure it's strong, stable, built to last. Same goes for everything above ground. We're talking columns, the unsung heroes holding up our buildings, bridges, you name it. They're the backbone, taking all that weight, all that pressure, and sending it down to the foundation. But here's the thing, not all columns are created equal. Picking the right type, that's crucial. It's about strength, it's about cost, and it's about making sure your project stands the test of time. Let's start with a classic, steel. Now, when I think steel, I think strength, I think durability. These columns, they're the workhorses of the construction world. A lot of times you'll see them made from these big I-beams or H-beams. Picture those heavy-duty steel beams all welded or bolted together, reaching for the sky, and the best part, they can handle massive weight without taking up a ton of space. That's what we call a good strength-to-weight ratio. They're fire-resistant too, especially if they've got the right treatment, but like anything else, they've got their quirks. You've got to keep an eye on them, especially in damp environments. Rust, it's always lurking. But hey, for skyscrapers, bridges, big commercial projects, steel, columns, they're often the way to go. Now, if steel's the racehorse, concrete's the ox. Strong, steady, built to last. We're talking pure concrete or reinforced with steel bars. Rebar, we call it. This ain't your grandpa's sidewalk concrete, though. We're talking high-strength stuff, able to handle some serious weight. Think bridges, think multi-story buildings, think anything that needs to stand the test of time. Plus, concrete's got this versatility. You can mold it into any shape you want. Round, square, heck, even those fancy curved designs. It's not perfect though. Concrete can crack, especially if it's not mixed right or if the ground shifts. And let's be honest, it's heavy as heck. Transporting it, pouring it, that all adds up. But for sheer strength and durability, concrete columns, they're hard to beat. Now, let's talk timber. Wood columns, they've got this warmth, this natural beauty that you just don't get with steel or concrete. They're lighter too, which can be a real lifesaver on a job site. Think about it, easier to transport, easier to handle, easier on the back, right? But here's the catch. Wood's got its limits. It's not as strong as steel or concrete, and let's be honest, it's not exactly fireproof. Termites love the stuff too, so where do you use them? Well, for smaller projects, residential builds, maybe a cozy cabin in the woods, wood columns add that touch of rustic charm. Plus, if you're using sustainably sourced lumber, you're doing right by the planet. Chapter 4, Circular Columns, Strength in Style. Ever notice those sleek, round columns in fancy buildings or bridges? Those are circular columns, and they're not just for looks. That round shape, it's all about strength. Distributes the load evenly, makes them super resistant to buckling. They're often made from reinforced concrete or steel, so we're talking serious strength here. Now, they can be a bit trickier to build. You need these special forms or pre-made sections, and that can add to the cost. But for modern designs, for projects that need that extra bit of elegance and strength, circular columns, they're worth a look. Chapter 5, Composite Columns, the best of both worlds. Sometimes you need the best of both worlds. That's where composite columns come in. Think of it like a tag team, steel and concrete working together. You might have a steel core wrapped in concrete, or maybe a steel tube filled with concrete. Either way, you're getting the strength of steel and the compression resistance of concrete. It's like they say, teamwork makes the dream work. Now, these columns, they can be a bit more complex to design and build. You're dealing with two different materials, so it takes a bit more know-how, but for skyscrapers, high-rises, those big projects where you need it all, strength, fire resistance, durability, composite columns, they're the way to go. Chapter 6, Brick Columns, a touch of tradition. Now let's step back in time for a minute. Brick columns, they've got this timeless appeal, this old-world charm that you just don't get with modern materials. Think stately homes, historic buildings, that classic look. They're made by stacking bricks, real bricks, not that veneer stuff, and holding them together with mortar. Now, I'm not going to lie, brick columns, they're not the strongest kids on the block. They're best suited for smaller buildings, low-rise structures where the loads aren't too crazy. And you got to watch out for moisture, because bricks can absorb water like a sponge. But for that touch of history, That traditional aesthetic brick columns, they've still got a place in modern construction. Chapter 7. Aluminum columns, lightweight and long-lasting. Last but not least, we've got aluminum, the lightweight contender in the world of columns. Now, aluminum's not as strong as steel or concrete, but it's got its advantages. It's corrosion resistant, so you see it a lot in coastal areas or places where rust is a concern. Plus, it's super lightweight, which makes it easier to work with. Think about it, less strain on your back, faster installation. Everybody wins. Now, because it's not as strong, you're not going to see aluminum columns holding up skyscrapers. But for decorative purposes, for smaller structures, even for carports or awnings, aluminum's a solid choice. Choosing the right column, your project, your legacy. So there you have it, a crash course in the wonderful world of columns. Remember, each type has its own strengths and weaknesses. Just like us, right? Steel's your workhorse, concrete's your steady hand, wood's got that natural charm, and so on. Choosing the right column, it's not just about looks, it's about safety, it's about durability, it's about making sure your project stands the test of time. And hey, if you want more construction tips, more insights into the building world, hit that subscribe button and ring that bell. We're all about building smarter, building stronger, building it right.